The Colombian government has announced it will hold a national referendum to ratify the agreements reached at the end of the peace talks being held in Havana, Cuba. The announcement comes despite the opposition of the FARC, which has proposed holding a constituent assembly. Instead, the Colombian government says a referendum would give popular legitimacy to the peace agreement. Meanwhile, as Natalia Margarita reports from Bogotá, a unilateral ceasefire declared by the guerrillas appears to be holding.
Colombia's broad front for peace, made up of social activists and leftist politicians, has been monitoring the unilateral ceasefire that the FARC implemented since December the 20th. Based on the testimonies and information gathered from the ground, the Front for Peace has released a detailed report titled "The FARC has fulfilled the ceasefire," which overall presents a positive report on the peace process so far.
This report by the Front for Peace comes from the monitoring and verification of the unilateral ceasefire. It is also the result of the citizen oversight by a large part of Colombia's population. We know there are many opinions, and we believe all of them are encouraging for the peace process.
Senator Iván Cepeda explained that during the course of monitoring the ceasefire, the Front for Peace held meetings with international organisms, such as UNASUR, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, and at the national level with the Ombudsman's Office and the Attorney General.
All of these organizations conclude that the FARC has 100% fulfilled the unilateral ceasefire implemented during the last month. In our report, we have highlighted the fact that the Colombian president himself, as well as the chief commander of the military forces, have both acknowledged that the FARC have honored this ceasefire.
Noting that this is the fifth ceasefire that the FARC has implemented during the 2 years of peace process, peace activist Lilia Solano says this sends a clear message to Colombia's government.
Government to immediately suspend all security force operations that put under risk the continuity of this unilateral ceasefire.
After handing over the report to a diplomatic representative of Cuba, a guarantor country of the peace process, leader from the National Indigenous Organization, Luis Fernando Arias, called on both parties to move forward to peace.
We encourage the FARC to maintain its position on a unilateral ceasefire, and we urgently demand the Colombian government implements a bilateral ceasefire and a cessation of hostilities.
The peace leaders also called on the press to understand their responsibility and the importance of the media in the peace construction. Now, the Broad Front for Peace is waiting for a meeting with Colombia's President Juan Manuel Santos so that they can officially submit the report to him. From Bogotá, Natalia Margarita, Telesur.